Is Corey from Ready to Love season 5? Is he creepy or is he misunderstood? We're going to talk about it in just a moment. Come right back after the intro. All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and recaps of some of our favorite shows. This one's all about Season 5, Ready to Love DC Edition. All right? So if this is content that you're enjoying, make sure you're doing what? Hitting that like button, subscribe, request notifications, and
share.
And we will, of course, see you in the comments. Shout out to the KT squad joining us again. All right. So we've been watching, of course, this season of Ready to Love just started.
Right.
Season 2, we got season 3, or excuse me, episode 2. Episode 3 is about to come up. But one of the one of the people, right? These aren't characters. These are actual people.
Correct.
With actual feelings.
Correct.
Right. But one of the persons from this season who already is probably very polarizing, right?
Right.
He's probably in a lot of, I know he's been in a lot of our comments. He's in a lot of other videos that we've seen as far as people talking about this guy. And that is Corey.
Correct.
All right. Also known as the fit guy. He is the copy paste guy.
Right.
He is 6 feet, 6-pack, and 6 figures, right?
Correct.
So first of all, just as far as full disclosure, we had reached out to Corey, asked him if he wanted to stop by Conversations with the Crawleys for an interview.
Right.
He declined, sent us some videos. So we did take a look at those videos. And so we wanted to kind of just talk about what we saw there and give our thoughts, our input.
Sure.
Or not input, but just our opinion on how things are flowing, what some of his mistakes may have been, and maybe he's just really misunderstood, right?
Yeah.
All right. So just really quick, one of the things that I think is one of the most polarizing pieces of Corey is this whole copy paste, right?
Right. Because nowadays everything's online. There's a lot of dating apps. So there's more people that can reach out to you that are interested in you that maybe you didn't find interesting, but they're commenting to you, right? Or sending you a message or whatever. Right. And then you're sending people messages as well, right? Yep. So you're interacting with a lot of people at one time.
Yeah.
So I can see, based off of understanding the dating app scenario, why someone was saying, I need to streamline a process.
Right. So again, you all know that we are balanced. We give the male perspective, we give the female perspective. Right. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree. I initially was like, bruh, I don't know about that. Right. You all saw some recaps before. But hearing him explain it, I get that people may not like it, but if we just look, I even think back to when I was coming up, and if we can just be honest, some of your daddies use the same line over and over to capture your mama. And I'm not saying that disrespectful.
Right.
But we've heard the lines, you must be an angel because you fell from heaven, But
the thing is, you do want to make people who you're interested in feel special.
Absolutely.
So even though people can say, oh, yeah, I do the same dates, I go to the same restaurant for my first date or something, that person doesn't need to know.
Right.
Or feel like this is your spot to take all your dates.
Right.
So there has to be some way where the person you're interested in
feels unique.
Right. Because my thing is, just because you receive 3 messages, you don't need to respond to them, especially if you're not interested in any of those. True. And so my thing is this, if you even make a decision, I'm not going to respond to anyone that's going to come in. I'm only going to be interested in the ones that I looked at, unless we both decided that we were interested in each other.
Right. Now, I mean, the issue of his copying, pasting, using the same kind of script, if you will, for his texting, he mentions how he doesn't particularly care for texting. Got it. Right.
I understand.
You might be left on red sometimes with me, right? But at the end of the day, what I get from him is that he's trying to streamline. he's using it almost as a filtering process. Let's get some questions answered.
Right.
Let's see kind of where you are, where I am.
Right.
If we can take it to where we actually meet in person,
right.
Great.
But why don't we get to the chase? So his understanding is that some women want attention, or that they just want to be a pen pal, and someone's actually dating. So why don't you copy paste that? Are you interested in a pen pal? Are you interested? Are you just looking for attention? I mean, like.
But let's just be honest, right?
That would cut a lot of stuff out quick.
But let's just be honest. If you're, and again, we're out the dating game as far as trying to catch someone. We've been out. We date each other. We've been dating each other for the past 25 plus years, right? But I think that if you're talking about the whole thing of trying to date, especially in this environment, right? When you're reaching out, you may not want to be called on the carpet of, are you just trying to be a pen pal, what have you? So I think we don't know exactly what his script, if you will, is.
He showed it.
He showed part of it, right? But it does sound like he's trying to, in some respects, filter through. And I know we don't like to use that word filter through. We don't like to use the word of trying to kind of streamline.
But we do filter. I mean, we make a decision.
I think that's what I think. And I think that's what he's doing. And I think maybe people just don't like the idea that they're saying that he's saying he does copy and paste.
Oh, yeah. That's the whole thing. Because to my knowledge, even in this mixer, unless he told them he copies and pastes, they took the way he initiated with the women all the same way that he was a copy and paster.
Yes.
And so when you initiate the same way, even in person, now you are in person, right?
Right.
You've never met these women before.
Right.
You're in person. So you have an opportunity to be unique with each individual woman, but you still come off the same. Then that's where you need to question, why are you just, recycling? Now, he indicates that he doesn't feel comfortable even with small talk. So the question is, what's wrong with small talk? Where do you feel like you feel I don't want to say inadequate, but feel uncomfortable with your small talk, right? Because you're just saying, hey, how are you doing?
Right.
Where you from?
Because, talking about cutting to the chase, I forgot who it was that he came up and asked, but I think it was Sabrina. He just basically was like, do you find me attractive?
Yes.
He asked another question. Right. He interrupted, asked the question, and then asked for a date. So in that instance, it really was just, he was straight to the point, what have you. And so there's a different way. I get what he's saying as far as how he operates on the dating apps and how he operates with, all those things. The thing though, or the issue is that when we're talking about Ready to Love, when we're talking about this show, this environment, that playbook, that game plan doesn't work in this scenario, right? Every sports team knows that you have to craft your playbook according to your opponent.
Right. Well, and the thing is, can he read cues? So when you're talking about small talk, or you're talking about texting, right? It's hard to tell cues when you're texting. Yeah. So if he feels like he can't read your expression, so let's talk, for instance, about Sabrina, right? So he goes up to Sabrina, he stops her in the middle of a conversation. Right. Then he asks her, do you find me attractive? The first thing she says was, well, I don't based off of that. Right. I based on personality. Can we talk afterwards? So he seems not to be listening to what she's asking from him. Then he goes right into the question, well, can we go out? Can I have a date? If he was saying, you know what, I apologize, I appreciate you want to care about my character. Right. So right afterwards, I'll be over here. I'll be getting a drink. Yeah. Let's have that conversation. Thank you. And then walked away. Right. But I think that's where he's kind of missing. He's not seeing the cues that the women are presenting to him based off of what we were able to see. Again,
all of this is based off of what we see. I know and understand now, because in one of the videos, it looks like they went until like almost 3:00 in the morning at that mixer. So it sounds like I was initially thinking, it sounds like it was a full-time job almost that day of 8 hours or more of filming is what it sounds like, right? So I think we recognize, and I think you guys are intelligent enough and wise enough to recognize that, you know what we see in that hour is snippets of everything that's been happening, right? So they're putting a story together as far as the producers. we like for, one of the great things when we do interviews is that they do add some context to what we don't see, right?
Yeah,
And so
sometimes they do if they do behind the cuts and stuff like
right.
that.
But I'm even talking about when we watch other interviews and other people that are other cast members that have talked about some things that happen behind the scenes. Sometimes we, as the fans of these shows, get an opportunity to see, okay, this is what they portrayed. However, this is some of the other things that led up to that, or some of the other things that we're cutting out. Because it's possible that maybe Corey did actually have that conversation with Sabrina, but at present, we don't know.
Well, based off of the women's reaction.
True.
So if we're going to go off of what continued throughout the night,
right,
their reaction was he was at the bottom. Because by the time it came time to say who we were going to deliberate on, it was him.
Right.
So obviously something didn't go right along with interaction and giving the cues, because he feels like I need an hour of your time for me to get you or for you to get me. Then we need to understand what takes so long. Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if Corey can course correct. I know in one of the videos that he did send us, he does talk about, he has to kind of throw out his playbook. One of the things that he did say that I wish he would have stuck to, he did say that he's going to base things not just upon his normal flow, but he's going to base, he wants to kind of see who is matching his energy, the vibe, and who really sparks his interest.
Right? And I think that's why he got to the four people that he asked for the day. But the thing is that they got him on tape saying one of them he wasn't even interested in.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the one that he was saying that's going to be out of his comfort zone.
Right.
But when he's talking to, I forgot who he's talking to, she says, Corey, that doesn't help.
I think it was Camille that we was talking to.
I think, okay, so like, Corey, that doesn't help your situation, man.
Yeah.
But you could tell they still liked him enough
to keep him around. They liked him more than Lamont. Let's just say
correct. They liked him more than Lamont. So this gives him an opportunity. And he indicates in his video, he tries to apologize and it's not received well.
Right.
Okay. Let me tell you about a woman. Once you do something, give it 24 hours. And then you make a statement to all 10 women. So right before the next mixer, hey, ding, ding, ding. I just need to make a blanket statement. Some women may take it or not take it.
Right.
Hey, I came in here. I had this playbook. Be vulnerable. Right. I thought I had it figured out. I'm great on the first date. I was nervous. I was excited. I had this grandiose idea of how I was going to come in and meet the person because I'm ready to love. I apologize. This ain't working the way I thought it was. Forgive me, ladies. There is some people I feel like I had a connection with.
Right.
And go from there.
Yeah. And even if it's not to everyone, even if you have that one person that can act as your advocate.
Right.
If you have that one person, that one woman that maybe y'all see yourselves being great friends. Maybe she's like, you know what? She's that voice of wisdom.
Bounce off.
To bounce off. If that person can then act as your advocate and go to the other ladies and say, all right, so Corey kind of explained it, it might work out. So, and
only do it to two. So you have pick two chicks that you like. If I had to decide tonight, like Tommy said, between two women, and then let her advocate for just those two women.
Right.
Not advocate for the rest of the 9.
Right.
Because he knows he ain't going to be cooking up with all 9
and at the end of the day, the goal is not to date all 10.
No.
The goal is to find the one. And yes, there is some filtering that happens with that. So take the copy paste, keep it in the apps.
Keep it in.
Right now, let's figure out a different game plan and let's connect with these women. We'll see how it goes for Corey. We'll see how it goes for the rest of these folks.
We'll see.
But listen, every episode we're going to do recaps. We're probably going to even do some lives. So make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, like, request notifications. And again, of course, see us in the comments. I know y'all got something to say about this one. I know y'all got some responses for that. Hey, so we want to hear it.
Tell us how you respond to dating apps and how do you keep it fresh, unique. If you're dating 15 men.
And if you are comfortable coming on camera, we might do an interview with you about dating in 2021. Because again, my game's flawed. Listen, my game's rusty. I don't have to use game. I got what I got.
wouldn't do it. I'd be like, I'd be like, I would rather go up to you and say, you are, my God, can I get your Instagram? Like, I would get their social media, but I would refuse to be on the app. So you can respond to me in my social media.
So you good with them sliding in the DMs?
I would rather you slide in the DM than me have to go through an app.
Now, if you slide the DMs, you're going to have issues, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, listen, let us know what you think. All right. See y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.